Awrite Troops, hope we're all doing well. It's time for another Ootside the pub. And as you can see, we're in Dennistoun's flagship venue, Redmonds. Amazing hospitality guaranteed. So without further ado, let's just crack right into this. Enjoy, Troops. So just for the Troops, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm David Kirkwood. I am one of the employees at Redmonds of Dennistoun. I'm the main man when it comes to all things beer. So we've got a whole lot of craft beer, about 150 in the fridge, the full spectrum of beer styles, 4 rotating lines which we curate pretty tightly. That's the good thing about only having to rotate 4. I mean, you know, we've always got tenants in Guinness, we're a mile from a football stadium, so yeah. we're a proper old-fashioned pub when we need to be as well, and we never tip too much into the focus on the craft beer to the detriment of the bread and butter custom. And we've got about 850 vinyl, so focus is on music and beer.
Brilliant. Now, do a wee record fair now and again?
We do indeed. Record fair once a month, the second last Sunday of the month. The alcohol's devoted to folks selling and buying and exchange vinyl as well.
We'll link to Redmonds as we always do, but what I would say is keep an eye on socials. Quite famous actually. I do like your reposts on the Monday and the Tuesday, tells you what's happening at Redmonds. Yeah. And I know you look after your regulars. It's about community pub, you know, people 100%. Like Rachel and Neil who are here today, and Callum, who, by the way, Callum
Drinks Craft.
Callum Drinks Craft didn't he come because he got offered a big takeaway from his in-laws. That's no excuse, is it?
It's not. It's a shoddy excuse, isn't it?
It is indeed. So, can you just tell us just what you've got on tonight?
Cool, so it's another Monk tap takeover. Normally the last Thursday of the month, or near the end of each month, we do a tap takeover. Different brewery comes in and does all 4 lines, and this month it's the first time we've had a returning brewery because we did a really successful Nothern Monk one last year. So the guys are back. We've got they're all collab beers or sort of short batch beers that they've done. The collaboration with Rafa Cycles, Belgian table beer. 5.2% Citra hopped American lager, collab with Ben Maher's and KCBC from Brooklyn. 7.4% double dry hopped IPA, collab with Thought Bubble, it's the next one in that series. And the Full, which is going on later tonight, which is a 6% fruited IPA.
Brilliant.
Delicious.
So you just got that one for me turning up, the Full.
That's right. You need to drink your way through the line one first, but
brilliant.
I'm sure you got it in you.
So we'll have a wee chat with Matt. He'll tell us a wee bit more of these beers. What I will say is that Belgian table beer, I've just had a wee sip of it. It's an absolute bannable belter.
I'm going to make a controversial statement because I know there's the general consensus is the particular brewery in London does the best table beer you ever get. That's right up there.
There you go. So we're talking about but yeah, it certainly is. Listen, David, thanks for your time. I'll let you get back to your craft. Alright.
All the best. Cheers.
Hello again, fancy seeing you here in Dennistoun.
Same place, different day.
Just for the troops, can you just reintroduce yourself for me, please?
Yeah, of course. My name is Matt Gardner and I am the brand ambassador over at Nothern Monk. Been here for 5 years now, which in beer terms is about 1,000.
And it's great, and you might recognise Matt from talking to us about a year ago outside the same venue, and he's doing another tap takeover. Just before we touch on that, we're just a couple of days after Hop City. How was it for you?
Yeah, really good. The team that we've got in place who do Hop City, they've been dialing it in over the years, and I feel like this was the smoothest Hop City that we've had. You know, I came in about 20 minutes before the Saturday night session, Saturday day historically being the heaviest session of them all. And 20 minutes before it launches and everyone sat around having a pint and, just smiles. And I think that is a real credit to the team over at the Refectory and Carl, who is our events manager. They've really honed the game down now, and it's just spot on essentially.
So it went smoother than Matt's current style, because he's looking very smooth. I think you'll agree viewers at the moment as well. I don't want to embarrass you there, Matt.
I'm due to get married soon, so I've been on a bit of a diet, and I've been trying to get myself a bit trim so I look a little bit less homeless than usual, which I'm trying. We'll see how it goes. I've got one more perm booked in before I get married, I guess, but yeah.
Brilliant. So we are in Redmonds, we are doing a tap takeover tonight. Now David's mentioned a few of the beers. The first one I just wanted to talk and we don't want to have a 20-minute chat, Matt. All right.
Well, hey, I mean, I don't know if you met me, but that's the only thing I do. Wait till I've got to do my groom speech. That's going to be an hour. Hope no one's hungry.
Listen, congratulations for your upcoming nuptials.
Thanks,
All right,
man. Thanks.
So I've just actually got in just recently there, and I've had the Belgian table beer.
Yeah.
An absolute banger.
Yeah, amazing. So we did it as a bit of a collab. So got quite a few of the team are into road racing, and one of the big brands that they love is Rafa. Rafa had a new spot opening in Manchester. They'd reached out. They wanted to do a brew. One of the things, I don't know much about road racing, but I guess in case you can't tell by looking at this, but one of the things that I get the gist of is there's a lot of road bike sort of tours or races or whatever around Belgium, and the idea is, you're riding your bike a lot, and they were sort of talking about the idea they love those like Belgian blondes, but one of the issues they have is obviously 6.5%. You can't have a lot of them.
Yeah.
So what they sort of said is there any way we can sort of harness some of that, but also what they really want to drink is super low, just really drinkable stuff. And we were like, let's cross the blonde and the table beer together and make a sort of Belgian table style. Even though you were only dealing with a 3%, getting all the esters out of those Belgian yeast just makes it almost feel more luxurious than you would usually expect something at 3% to be.
And it is a banger, I have to say. I just had a wee bit, and I think you've summed it up there. There's a lot of esters coming through in the taste, so check that out, Troops. If you see it anywhere, check it out. You've done one, I noticed, up there with a collaboration maybe with, was it a brewery from New York perhaps? It's on there as well.
It was actually Baron.
Sorry.
Is that the one you're on?
Yes, sorry.
So Baron's kind of like, it's kind of a bit in the middle of nowhere. It's sort of close, it's south of Cambridge. So again, we're always looking at who we're really inspired by, who are doing amazing things in the beer world at the moment. Baron are, I'm not saying they're brand new to the table or anything, but like we're really impressed with everything we've had from them. We invited them up, let's get a brew in. They love a hazy IPA. Hey, we love a hazy IPA. So we had to do it. I don't know if you've had much of it, but the New Zealand harvest this year has just been absolutely bonkers. So we got some Nelson, and we got some, probably going to mispronounce it, Motueka.
Yep.
Might be how it's pronounced. Also, it's got a bit of Brew One in, US variety that's just like killer. It's been in some of our biggest stuff. Some of our Vortexes have actually had Brew One in. So we wanted to sort of pair those with these amazing New Zealand hops. And we just sort of like, 7.4%. I feel like that's the sweet spot. That's Infinity Vortex. It's big, but you're not having to worry about the esters getting too heavy because of that like heavy fermentation. It's just really, it's big without being overpowering, and obviously hop the will in an inch of its life. I've been on I haven't been drinking for the past month or so in the run up to the wedding. Having a day off today because I'm at Redmonds. It'd be rude not to. I'm seeing a lot of the Glasgow farms, so I feel like it'd be rude not to. But I'm really excited to not just have a taste, but actually really get one in me. But obviously, as you can imagine, after a month off, I'm a bit lightweight, 7.4. So I'm starting on the table beer. We're going to build up to it.
Build up. You can always get a wee schooner of that, or you can get a wee third.
I brought you a couple of empty stouts with some that have seen a few of Scotland's finer barrels, so I might have to have a tiny drop of that on the way out as well.
Fabulous. The Fool, I believe, is coming on later on. The Fool.
Yeah, the Fool is our cola with Left-Handed Giant. Milkshake style IPAs. Obviously, we are moving a bit less lactose, more dextrose sort of style now. It's vegan for starters. You get a little bit less of that creamy flavour while still getting that sort of like real sweetness. It's very decadent. Probably not something we're going to have, pints and pints of. But it's something where a schooner's perfect. It's somewhere like Redmonds. I really wanted to make sure that we had those real like showcase beers, but I also wanted to sort of really showcase the fact that, look, this place has still got a lot of food-led side of things, and people want to drink pints. So we've tried to really give a broad spectrum. I think last time we came in extremely heavy. I think everyone had a very bad day the next day, a bad head the next day. Sorry. And this time I thought I'd go a little bit easier, and we'll go a bit more volume. Davey, being the legend that he is, he was like, you know, what we'll do is we'll get more kegs, so even if you can't make it down tonight, all weekend there's going to be a good amount of Northern Monk on, and they're going to rotate through a few different things.
Well, that's a great thing about Redmonds as well, and David, they've been very flexible and have really embraced both sides of the beer section. So, you know, you've got your 10-inch, your Guinness, you've also got something to cater for us beer people, like the good stuff. Can I just say viewers, if you haven't watched already, the Bristol Pub Crawl, which should be up by the time you're watching this. We do visit Left-Handed Giant, both are tap rooms, so check that one out. So yeah, the last beer, I'm not going to lie, Matt, I've forgotten what the last beer is on tonight.
Very Stable Genius. Very Stable Genius is our Citra Adjunct Lager. So Adjunct Lagers, essentially, I think initially the idea really was just barley's quite expensive. We put some rice in, it's a little bit cheaper. But it makes this really crisp, refreshing style of lager. So we absolutely love it. We brewed it originally. We've rebrewed very similar beers under many different monikers, but we had to do the rebrew. The OG recipe, the brew team love it. I mean, that's the main reason we have to keep doing it, but also, you know, everyone in the team, we always make sure it comes out as the weather starts to warm up. Maybe it's not as warm as we would have liked, but it's still there. It's crisp, it's refreshing. The Citra is there in absolute spades. And obviously, you know, since the last time we brewed it, we've got a Braukorn now, and that completely changes the game. The German kit, you know, lagers, Germans, they know what they're doing. The kit is stylized for it, and it tastes even better than that original, which was already a phenomenal brew.
Indeed. So I just want to touch as well, obviously you've got your winter festival. Are the tickets on sale for that yet, Matt?
Yeah, they've literally, as soon as Hop City finished, tickets went live. The team aren't messing about this time. I've already had a little bit of a sneak peek as to some of the things we got planned. Obviously cannot, you know, the NDAs are in. I'm keeping stum about it, but you know, if you like dark beer and or wild beer, and also particularly aren't offended by a bit of metal, because we'll definitely have some of the heavier sounds on. It's a different vibe. I think I really like that, even though we do two festivals, obviously the beer styles are very different, but the entire vibe feels different. I love Hop City. Hop City is laid back, it's chilled, you can just have fun. It's a very friendly, sort of environment where, you know, you just sort of rubbing elbows with people. Sorry, rubbing shoulders. But on the flip side, Dark and Wild is it's a different beast. The sours, the wild ales, they're going to be big and complex and in your face. And then the dark beer, these aren't going to be Guinnesses. This is, you know, a lot of Imby stouts. There's going to be a lot of barrels used in these kind of beers. Again, very in your face. And to go alongside it, the music, you know, it's going to be brash, it's going to be in your face. You know, this is not one to take lying down, so you might be lying down the next day though.
Well, that's acceptable when you're down in Leeds at a festival.
I think you're a well-researched man, and I think I like the fact that, you know, you're asking the right questions and you know what you need to be doing.
There we go. I think I'm right. Here's that 20 quid, Matt. All right. Listen, but just for the troops before we go,
I'll settle for a whiskey. Don't worry.
I'll get you a whiskey before we go. Listen, thanks very much for coming on, and same time next year.
Thanks for having us, troops. I'll see you soon.
Is there a nicer man in beer? Probably not. Do us a favour, troops, in the comments, leave your congratulations to Matt on his nuptials. This video goes out to you, Matt, and thanks again. Hopefully we'll see you again soon. So we just thought we'd grab a wee chat with one of the punters here. Would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm Dan.
Thanks.
One of the regulars in Redmonds. Apparently.
Fantastic. Now, why do you like being a regular in Redmonds, Dan?
3 reasons. Good staff, good vinyl, good beer.
Fantastic. Talking of good beer, what are your kind of favourite beers that they serve in Redmonds?
So, standard is just a classic pint of Kelvin. Love a bit of dry gate. Know Matt and the guys down there quite well. So yeah, love to support the local. But it's always great being in Redmonds because they have a bit of everything, whether you're taking out the fridges or whatever guests they've got on. It's just great selection always.
Dan, I normally reserve this question for brewers and the landlords, but I'm going to ask you, okay? Now, it can't be Kelvin Pilsner,
okay,
alright? But you're stranded on a desert island. You've got one beer that you have to have for the rest of your life in that island. What would it be?
easy answer, sublimely self-righteous from Stone, which I don't think they make anymore, but it's the best beer that I've ever drunk.
So bear in mind that they can't sell that anymore, and you can't get it anymore. I'll give you one other. It doesn't have to be a beer. It can be any drink whatsoever.
Any drink whatsoever. Oh, you know what? I have a whiskey in the house at the moment, which is absolutely beautiful. It's from Leith Distillery, brand new in Edinburgh, and they are releasing all sorts of stuff, but their Perpetuity, which is like a blend that they've started releasing, is beautiful.
Fantastic. So thank you very much for being on the show.
No problem.
And I'll let you go back and let's have a couple of bevies.
Thank you.
So there you go, troops. Outside the pub in Redmonds, a great night was had by all. There he is, the top man himself, rolling sausage. It was some laugh. The company was just phenomenal up at Redmonds, as was the service. It's a top place and it's a class act. See you soon, troops.